Hi, my name is Charlie Singer. I'm the Senior Vice President of Creative and Content at Tr3s MTV Música y Más. A lot of people refer to me here as Carlos Cantante. And I am in charge of the programming and the brand and the creative as it's executed on the channel itself. Tr3s is a 24-hour cable network targeting the bilingual, bicultural Latino in the United States. We are proud to say we have no language choice. We are language agnostic. We don't care if we're in English or in Spanish. Our content is whatever the creators or the talent or the theme of the show asks for. And we try to avoid sitting there with a chart, try to figure out our, we have 30% Spanish, 50% English, 20% something else. We just try to present ourselves as truthful in the way that most Latinos talk to themselves, which is bouncing around with whatever language they can use. We try to spread our programming into three buckets. The obvious one is music, because of our MTV heritage. It's a big part of who we are, and it's a huge part of the culture that we're speaking to, so music is a big part of what we do. Superstar music specials, music videos, interviews with artists, that kind of thing. Second bucket is the MTV bucket, which is we have access to the library of domestic MTV programming, as well as some of the programming that's done internationally for MTV. And so that's a huge portion of what our audience eats up, and it's an opportunity for certainly some of the less acculturated ones to get exposure to the MTV brand. And then the third one is our Más bucket, which is trying to capture the bilingual, bicultural lifestyle in our original productions and in some of our acquisitions. Well, I think the new generation Latino audience has really come on their own in the last couple of years. Not only has everyone started to recognize them, but I think actually they've started to recognize themselves, and therefore they're starting to look for things that target them directly. Anyone who's looked at any data, forget the census, which is going to completely confirm everything we've already seen, but data that we've seen over the last 5-6 years from Pew and everyone else, it's clear that this new generation, they're young, they're somewhat more acculturated, they have a great deal of passion for their culture and their new culture, and it's a new identity that didn't exist on television. It wasn't being spoken to, and now it's quite clearly a very large data point that everybody's got to deal with. And if you dig even deeper over the next 10 years, the number of second generation Latinos in the 4 to 11 market are going to move into the 12 to 17 and 18 to 34 markets, and this pocket of people is going to be humongous. And until now, there's been no one speaking to them. It's a point that I say a lot in various different contexts, which is that when I think about the channels that people call our competitors, Mundos, CTV, I actually don't think of them as competitors at all. I think we're all trying to establish a space that doesn't exist. And so I think it's actually exciting that we all work together to establish and learn best practices from each other. And so I don't really look at them as a competitor. I look at them as a great way of studying things that I can do better. Hopefully I'm having a dialogue with them creatively through what we do on our channel, and that it's all going to lift everyone's game, because I think this market's going to be humongous over the next 10 years. Which is why I'm very excited to be participating in the panel on April 11th at the NGLC, because I'm going to be able to sit on a panel and actually we can, instead of communicating by our airwaves, I can actually communicate with these guys directly.